Assalamu alaikum. I have here a Lenovo Thinkpad T460s, and I am going to be showing you how to replace the speaker. So first thing you want to do is flip it over to its backside, and with the T460s you have a total of 5 screws on the back located here, 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 and there. And you're going to unscrew all 5 of these in order to access the back. Now with this model, this is how you'll access both the drive and the RAM as well, but this laptop isn't really in need of replacing either of those or upgrading, as that's already been done, and it's just the speaker that went bad. So you're going to kind of pry the back open. And there's little teeth along the front, which you have to keep in mind when you put it back together. Now, the speakers are located here and here, right next to the battery. And in order to take them out, you need to remove the battery, because the cable that connects the 2 speakers runs under the battery. So you're going to take out, there's a total of 3 screws for this battery, here, here in the middle, and on the other side. And always, whenever you're working on a computer in general, put the screws in a spot where they won't fall off the table or get lost anywhere, because you will be needing them very soon, especially in an example like this. So now that you've done that, you need to remove this battery. And so you lift this side, one side. You have to kind of slide it out, as this will be lodged in under the plastic, and then just disconnect. I'm going to leave the battery on the side for the time being. Now with both of these speakers there are 3 screws. With this speaker over here, you have a screw here, a screw here, and a screw here. And on the other side, a screw here, a screw here, and a screw there. So you're going to unscrew all 6 of those. And you don't want to tear out the battery right when you remove these screws, as the cable is a bit tucked, and you don't want to be ripping that cable when you're replacing the speaker. Now that I have all 6 of the screws out, I'm going to first disconnect the speaker. It's connected right here, runs from this side. So kind of use your nails and slowly slide it out, and then untuck the cable. Now I have this side free, and I need to, it's kind of woven between and under plastic all along this way. So you're going to very gently start removing all that, and kind of have a general idea of how it was tucked, as that will be important when you put the new speaker in. Now I've successfully removed the speaker, so I'm going to be taking the other speaker, and you want to put it the same way so that the cable is on the right side, or on the correct side, that is. Don't worry about positioning way too much, just make sure it's in the general position, as the screw will be what puts it back in place. You're going to tuck the cable under and around the same little plastic teeth that held it down in the first place. Between the plastics, and then under, around, under again. This part can be a little challenging, especially if you have bigger fingers. It's harder to push it under, in which case you can use a screwdriver if you have any trouble. And then line it up on this side. Now that I have that part tucked, I'm going to plug in the cable for the speaker, and make sure you have the cable lined up properly so that when you do connect it, you do not damage it, and when it's properly connected, the device will work properly. Then you tuck this cable into the same place, and now that it's all tucked in place, all the cables are tucked, you put all of these screws back on. And the reason why this cable is tucked is so that it fits. Because if it's just loose and up in the air, when you put the back cover of the laptop back on, it can damage or even cut that wire, and that will result in your speakers not working. Now that I have all 6 screws back in, I'm going to be putting the battery back in. So you kind of have to push it all in. There are 2 little plastic pieces on each side which keep it in place, here and here. And then kind of slide it upwards to make sure it connects to the motherboard. This little tape, make sure it's taped up properly to keep it even more in place. And finally, you put the 3 screws in the right places. Now that you've done that, you're going to take your cover, your back cover, and remember those teeth I mentioned earlier in the video. Tuck in the teeth first, bring the other side down, make sure all these parts kind of click in, and whatever doesn't click in, it'll be fastened by the screws, so not to worry. You put these 5 screws, or tighten these 5 screws. And now the 5th, and just like that, you have successfully replaced the speakers on your Lenovo Thinkpad T460s.